Radio on Classic Country K107.1. I'm Greg, my wife is Lori. We're both realtors in Central Ohio, bringing to you every week the best in the business. Today we today we're talking about flipping crazy, advertising secrets, help for buyers and sellers in Central Ohio. And we have on with us someone who does not fit the traditional profile for obtaining a loan, but he's going to help you out. Lori, what have you seen happening this week in real estate?
Well, you wouldn't believe this, but it's almost like someone's been listening to our radio show, and I don't know if it's a good thing. Because there were actually two incidences that happened in the past week. One was there was a guy that called, or a realtor, excuse me, that received a phone call from a lady that had a heavy accent and was acting like she was a realtor and wanted to get into some of his vacant homes. And he started suspicioning something, so he asked for her license number, and she's kind of stumbled around and ended up giving him, he said that it looked like maybe she was looking on the internet while he was talking to her, you know.
Yeah, try and find the license number.
Shoveling around. All of a sudden she said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and hung up. So he just wanted to get the word out there. And if you missed last week's show, what we talked about a little bit was safety and ways to be safe, and tips.
And every realtor can spout off their license number quickly.
Right, every realtor knows their license number, and so the fact that she was stumbling around and then didn't know it and had to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and hung up tells you something. But what was even more concerning is there were actually 3 open houses in Dublin that got broken into this past week.
And things were stolen.
Yeah, things were
Jewelry,
stolen. And prescription drugs.
Yeah.
So be sure to make sure that you put away your prescription drugs and and hide any
jewelry.
important jewelry,
Oh my
anything
gosh,
of
yes.
value to you. But yeah, and I'm reading this here because they basically said, here it says, they were stealing prescription drugs and jewelry valued at over $10,000, and they're working in a 3-person ring with a male and a female in one instance going to homes, and then 2 males in another. So yeah, definitely be careful. Just another good reason to put your stuff away.
Well, yeah, and hopefully if you're having an open house, your realtor's giving you some information on that. Just hide your valuables, put them all away. I wouldn't even have them in the house personally.
No, I wouldn't either.
So, all right, well. One of the things I wanted to get to last week, but we just didn't have time for, was the report cards, because the school report cards came out. They actually came out. Usually they come out in August every year for the previous school year, but this year they were a little late. So I sent them an email and I said, "Hey, when are the report cards coming out?" And they said it's going to be middle of September. And then they came out mid to late September. And I've gone on. I've looked at them. I've ranked them all, as I do every year, as I have for like the past 10 years, to give us an idea of which schools are the best, how they're doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what's interesting was, just like last year, they decided to start grading them on a scale A, B, C, D.
I think they copied you.
Well, I think they did too, because I actually started that a couple years back.
I know, I remember.
And that was because I was like, the school districts were under a lot of pressure, I think, to have these good grades, which is why we got into that whole scandal around the attendance things. And so I looked at the way they were recognizing schools and grading them. I said, well, this just doesn't make any sense. There's a better way to do it. And as you know, I majored in mathematics education for my college career.
Taught.
Yeah, and taught in high school level for 10 years. So I really know how to rank these schools. I know what's important, what's difficult to mess up, as far as hiding the numbers kind of thing. And so I rank them, and I came out with the different scale, which is the ABCD scale. And that's available now, so people can see it. They can go to realtyresourceradio.com.
Well, we get a lot of people coming to our website because they Google schools in Ohio.
Yeah.
And then they come to our website, and I ask them, how did you reach us? And that's what they tell us. So.
Sure, because and even then you can find the homes that are for sale in the district you want right there with one click. They just come up.
Yeah, it's great.
Everything is available.
Yes, everyone should check that out at sellingcolumbus.com.
Well, and we have a link off Realty Resource Radio as well. So
that's right.
If you're there looking for a good resource, follow your link. So what was up with those school report cards? Well, there is a connection between schools and real estate, and I wanted to talk about that because I was looking at the numbers. And
I think we disagree on this a little
Well,
bit.
yes, you did. We talked about the hot market, and what I said was there does not appear to be any connection between hot real estate markets, which are homes moving fast, a lot of homes moving fast in the area, and school districts, because it was all over the board. But there is a connection. So what I did was I arranged by average list price, high to low, the school districts.
Okay.
So I said, show me all the homes that are for sale in these different school districts. Give me the average price, and then I sorted it high to low. And what I saw in that ranking is that of the top 10 homes, school districts, the homes in those school districts, 8 out of 10 have top rankings in the school rankings as well.
Well,
So the correlation there is good school districts have expensive homes.
Right. And people, I mean, typically with money, want good school districts, or want to be in a safe area. So, I mean, if the taxes are going to cost more, I mean, not everybody can afford the higher taxes. So, don't you think?
Well, yeah. I think you pay for schools. You pay for good school districts.
Right.
That is really, although I don't think that's the only factor, of course, in people getting a good quality education. Parents play a big part in that as well.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I went to a school district that's down near the bottom of that list, and
and look how smart you are.
I like to think I did okay.
And then there was me who went to a great school, and I don't know. But
the other interesting thing about this this ranking based on price in the school district is the days on market. 6 out of 10 of the top 10 are also in the fastest moving as well. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, because that plays into our home flipping stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up asking our neighbors, that we have a few retired neighbors around us, why they moved, and we live in the Olden Tangi School District, and we wanted to know why would they move there, because their taxes would be so high. Because certainly there are other areas around town that that have just the same house, the same exact house being built, that's just as nice of area and land and location, but they came because it was a good school district, and exactly what we stated, that they felt like, well, gosh, that specific school district has money in it, and that it's probably safer, and that's the reason that they moved there.
Okay.
So I didn't know if you knew that, because we hadn't talked about it.
I did not know that at all. Well, because I'm thinking as I get older, I want to move out of the expensive areas and into a cheaper area, an area that has less than taxes. I don't like paying taxes.
I guess we need to talk before we get too old. You might be moving there yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I looked into the taxes, and you're gonna be amazed by this.
Okay.
You remember the average home? The average home
was
is
like
right
180
around
something.
Yeah, right
right
around 180,000, 180,000. If you're in the highest paying school district, you're paying $5,300 a year
for a $180,000 home
in taxes.
Oh,
right?
I believe it.
If you're in one of the least expensive, $1,900 a year. That's $3,000.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's $3,400 difference just in taxes, and that's for an average home.
Well,
if you're in one of those expensive areas, you're paying twice that. So you're paying like $6,800.
One thing that's really good
taxes.
is areas where there's like, say like Olden Tangi schools but Columbus taxes, or Worthington schools but Columbus taxes. Those are some really great areas to look in, because you're paying
save a
little money. Yeah.
Save a little, and still have a good school district if you got kids.
Yep.
Kind of thing. Well, what is the ranking? I want to talk. I told you I ranked them. Sure enough, they are, and I'll tell you. The top school did it 2 years in a row, which I have never seen before. I've never seen the top school district be at the top 2 years in a row.
Wow.
The bottom school district
What was the top district?
has done it 2 years in a row too. So the bottom school district is my alma mater.
Oh yeah.
Columbus Public Schools.
Whetstone.
They've done it again. But at the top though, and this is really impressive, is Grandview Heights. Grandview Heights,
Really?
2 years in a row, is ranked top school district in the Central Ohio area.
Well, I mean, I know they were good. I thought maybe New Albany or Arlington or.
They're always up there, but Grandview did it two years in a row, so really impressive. And number 2 in the list, Upper Arlington Schools came in at number 2. They bounced around in the top 5.
Wow.
Usually are. Number 3, Olden Tangi local schools.
Okay.
Number 4, Dublin City Schools. Number 5, Bexley Schools.
See?
So there's the top 5.
I just named them.
Yeah. And then and another interesting thing when I looked at the numbers was like Reynoldsburg had the teacher strike.
Right.
And they were concerned about class size being an effect on the school district. Well, I'll tell you what, they dropped. I also have how far they dropped from year to year. They actually dropped six rankings this past year.
Ooh.
So
Ouch.
they went down to number 16 from number 10. So maybe there's a good reason that they were striking, because they, get less kids in there, you can help them out, they can learn a little bit more.
Sure.
So that's our school rankings. The other thing I wanted to mention was our restaurant of the month. This is the last week for Caribbean Jerks Island Bar and Grill to be our restaurant of the month.
Hurry, guys.
And you know what that means? That means that we have to find another good restaurant that wants to give us a $50 gift certificate to give
give
away.
to our listeners, yep.
Well, and that means that we have to go out to eat a lot.
Oh,
Because
gee,
we have to find the good restaurants, because we don't want just any restaurant out there. We're only supporting these quality restaurants where we love the food, and of course if you have craft beer, that's always a bonus too. So I love craft beer. So if you're out there and you know of a restaurant where you would like to get a $50 gift certificate, you should let us know at realtyresourceradio.com. Just fill out our contact form, tell us where it should be. Lori and I will go visit it, and if it's good,
Maybe we'll get them on.
And we think we should recommend it because of the quality and the service, we'll see if we can't hit them up for a gift card.
That sounds great.
Coming up, we have Flipping Crazy. We're going to talk about some of the stuff they don't want you to know. The guys that talk to you about flipping homes. We have advertising secrets. Sold under 30 days, really? Is that impressive? I don't know. Multiple offers. We've also got help for buyers and sellers coming up in Central Ohio, and non-traditional loans. Perhaps you don't fit into the mold and you need a non-traditional loan. We've got the expert coming up.
That's right. You're listening to Realty Resource Radio.